Well, hello. Well, hello. I am Liz Hansen, and we're here today for our Live with Liz series. I am super glad to be with you. If you're watching this and you can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the comments, or hit the heart or like button just so I know that we are live and that this is working. I'm really excited to be with you today. If we haven't met, my name is Liz Hansen, and I'm here at the Chicago Boudoir Photography Studio, where I have a mission to empower women in all areas of their lives. And here in this Facebook group, if you've been here for a while, you know that what I love to do is bring on other women who share a similar mission that I do to empower women. So I'm so excited to have Valerie Lundgren here with us today. Valerie, hello, and thanks for being here.
Hey there. Thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
So today we're going to chat with Valerie about what she does, how she empowers women with their health. If you are a person who has a similar mission of empowering women, I would love to hear about in the comments. If you're interested in being interviewed on this Live with Liz series, I would love to chat with you. I'll leave the link to apply as well. So thanks everyone for being here. Valerie, guess tell us a little bit about what you do and what it is that you bring to women to help them feel more empowered.
Yeah, thanks so much, Liz. Super excited to be here. We were just chatting before we started, and I was like, empowering women is like my mission. This is what I want to do in life. And it really, I think it just comes down to my own struggles and how I felt so disempowered for so many years with my own mental health struggles. And it came to a head where it was just like I need everybody to feel empowered, these women to feel empowered again. So that's my whole journey kind of started over 21 years ago. Postpartum anxiety kind of took a hold. And I didn't really know what to do. And I struggled for several years and I couldn't figure out the crux of this anxiety and what was happening. And I was doing lots of holistic things to try to mitigate it and just like make the symptoms go away, but I really wasn't doing the healing. And it wasn't until I was diagnosed with melanoma over 10 years ago that it was kind of my wake-up call. That really took me for big tailspin, and I was like, I gotta change. I gotta do something different.
Valerie,
So
for our listeners who don't know, melanoma is skin cancer.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you received a cancer diagnosis
yeah.
10 years ago. That is really, really scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. It was one of my worst fears. And luckily we caught it early. I didn't have to go through extensive treatments. It was just a really horrible surgery, but I'm good. We're clear. But it really took me out. At that time, I had a retail store. I lost my retail store because I wasn't able to pay the bills of medical stuff and the store. And then a year later, I lost my brother-in-law to suicide, unfortunately. So that took me out. And I was still dealing with panic attacks every day, and I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
Um, and I knew if I
Really,
went to,
you've really
yeah,
been through so much.
I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. And I knew like, I can take a medication, which is fine. And I don't poo-poo medications. I believe people probably should be on medications at some point. So please talk to your doctor if you are suffering from mental illness. But it just wasn't my thing. I knew I couldn't do meds because it just didn't work with my body. So I was like, I gotta figure this out. So I went into a really big kind of deep dive discovery about myself and did a lot of deep healing. And so during that probably like 5 year process of my deep healing, I had discovered I really need to incorporate therapy, but also mindfulness and working through just understanding and being more embodied, nutrition, working through healing my gut. So through that process, I was kind of becoming this sounding board of, mental health and helping women with anxiety. And so I was like, what should I do with this? Well, I guess I'll be a health coach. So then I went to school for health coaching and I really did this focus on helping women through anxiety. And now it's kind of the anxiety and the transition at this point is now women going through perimenopause, because of course that's where I'm at in my life. So we all feel that anxiety, and the perimenopause is just another fun thing that we have to deal with. So that is kind of where I became that health coach. And through my health coaching, I incorporate mind, body, and soul. And by mind, it's like we're working through um, different therapies to help you kind of become more embodied and mindful about own self. So I'll use NLP approaches. I do hypnotherapy, and I do some timeline therapy. So we do a little bit more deep dive into like deeper healing. And we do a lot of, I do a lot of positive neuroplasticities where we're like retraining the brain basically and rewiring the neurons so that you can have a little bit different outlook. And then with the body, we're working on nutrition, movement, really just feeling the body. And then with the soul, I work with Reiki energy healing as well during my coaching sessions. So then we'll do energy healing and I work with all the energy bodies. And then I go a little bit deeper sometimes and we do past life healings, we do generational healings. So we get really deep and dirty when we start doing the healing work. So that's kind of
Oh,
what brought me to
so
it all.
you're a holistic health coach.
Mhm.
How many do you work primarily one-on-one in person with women? Do you work online, groups? What do your services look like?
Yeah. So generally I do a 3 month and a 6 month coaching program with women. And I can do it online or in person, so either or. And we meet once a week and we really, kind of do this deep dive into healing. I also do offer like free Reiki for people once a month. So every third Thursday, I have a free Reiki session. It's on Zoom, so people around the world can join,
Wow.
just so they get a taste of what energy healing is. And each month there's like a specific um, topic. So this month is about the winter blues. So doing a little bit of Reiki healing around the winter blues. Um, and yeah, and then I'm going to be doing like a group coaching. I've got like a little mini group coaching thing that's going to be coming in January. You pay a small membership fee, and we just do every month. You kind of get taste of what the big coaching program would be, but more in a little smaller group setting.
So, Valerie, can you tell us? I would love to hear a story of someone that came to you and what their journey looked like. Of course, you don't need to reveal personal details about them, but I'd love to hear just an example of someone who was. We've heard your story a little bit about postpartum and things. Can you tell us a story, like someone that really sticks in your mind or that was memorable for you that came to you for healing and what their journey looked like?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. But there was this one client of mine who came to me because she was really kind of in a transitional phase. It wasn't postpartum. It wasn't, I'd say most women I'm probably working with are in their, later 30s, upper 50s, because we're in that transitional phase. Like kids are starting to leave the house and who am I? Why am I in this work? So I did have a client that came to me and she was feeling very overwhelmed in this transition time of having to care for parents that were aging. Child left the nest. Uh, what am I doing with my life? I hate this job that I'm in. So it was just this like
I feel like that's
really
like the battle cry of the woman in her 40s. Like, what
is
am I doing with my
who am
life?
I? Who am I? So we worked through a lot of that and really kind of worked through finding herself again. And so we did a lot of deep dive healing around all of that. And her biggest outcome from it, which was I thought amazing, was she quit her job and found the job that really, spoke to her and kind of like really rediscovered her purpose. And I
Mm.
love when we get to work together and we really look at like your actual soul's purpose and what does that mean? And so we do a little bit more into work around the soul's purpose and how it can serve you and serve others. And so she was able to quit her job and find a new job that was just amazing. And she was able to help. The biggest thing I feel for most of my clients, especially her, was that she was able to create these new habits where she was caring for herself first.
Hmm.
So as women, we're just so much into yes, 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 and caring for everybody else that our bucket is just overflowing and we don't take care of ourselves. And so she was able to create new habits that were easy to maintain and start caring for herself more. And through that process, she's messaging me and saying, I feel so much more calm during the day. I'm not as stressed as I used to be. Um, I'm finding that I'm able to have conversations a little bit more deeply with people because I'm not, thinking all the time. So it was really great just seeing how empowered she became with the tools I was able to give her. And that's kind of the whole point of like my coaching program is I want to give tools because you have the power to do the healing yourself. And that's what I want women to see that they have this power inside of them that was just, it's been silenced since they were little kids. And I want them to feel that empowerment again.
I love so many things that you just said. One of the things that stuck out to me was about maybe 10 or 15 years ago, a therapist said to me, self-care is not selfish.
Exactly.
And honestly, that was a revelation to me
Right.
that somehow I had internalized the idea that as a woman, I always needed to give, 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 and that
Mhm.
taking care of myself or time for myself or doing anything for myself was inherently selfish and bad. And when she said self-care is not selfish, it was almost like some curtains parted, and I was like, oh, like I'm
Right.
allowed. It's actually good for everyone else if I take care of myself as well.
Right.
And
Right.
that's one of the things that you mentioned there with that woman that she needed to fill her own bucket in order to give to others.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's just so ingrained. Our mothers and our mothers before us were just they're the caretakers and we kind of do what the man says and just kind of stay in your place and just take care of everybody else. And at some point it's like we have to wake up and realize that we have to take care of ourselves. And so yes, self-care is super important, whatever that might look like for you, right? And self-care doesn't have to be going to the spa. It could be just a 5-minute meditation every day. It could be really simple things. So just doing things that bring you joy in your life is what self-care is about.
The other thing that you said that really resonated with me was when you said that the power already exists within you. So I don't I feel like sometimes we're out looking for solutions and things, but the solution that often exists is that you have the power within you if you can access and harness it. So how do you help women discover that truth about themselves and really implement that in their lives?
Yeah, good question. So it's really about kind of giving them the confidence back to do it, right? It's so many women that they just kind of have this block up that like, well, I can't. And so we work through kind of the victim stuff that they've picked up or just that lack of confidence through really generational trauma or wounding. And so we rebuild that confidence so that they really do kind of come back to that, oh wait, I can do this by myself. And when I do the coaching, it's kind of like I'm giving you homework every week. Like this is on you, I'm not the one that's doing the actual work. And so when they really start doing the work is when they start feeling more empowered.
I find it's good news and bad news that you're the captain of your own ship, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is great news. You have the power. But then the bad news is also like you have to stop blaming everyone else. It's like this good news,
Right.
bad news
Right.
situation that you're ultimately in charge of your life.
Right. Bad news is yeah, you actually have to do the work, like
You have to
uh
control and take responsibility. Yeah.
yeah.
Valerie, I'd love to hear what are some common misconceptions that people have, or maybe myths that people commonly believe about what you do as a holistic health coach?
Sure. Well, I think health health coaching as an umbrella term, I think probably has the idea that I am like specifically working with weight loss or something, right? So like,
It's
I'm
like
looking at
weight
the
loss is our only goal.
right. And
Yeah.
really weight loss is a symptom, right? So like it's what having gaining weight is a symptom of. what has happened, right? So if I do work with somebody and their goal when we sit down and they're like, well, I'd really like to lose 10, 15 pounds, I look at the whole body and why there is weight and what's going on with the weight. And we look at hormones, I mean, just everything. And I also give them some tools to realize that it was just really a symptom of what was really happening. So that's kind of one of the myths I'd say is just that, and I'm not working specifically, like I don't go, we're working on weight loss. So it's mainly holistically, I'm just looking at the whole body. Um
I
and
totally,
I kind of
I just want to say, I feel like as women, a lot of the times that's like, well, if you just lose weight, like that's supposedly the answer to all of our
right,
problems.
right,
Like, oh, well, if you lose weight, you could get pregnant. If you lose weight, you'll feel better. And like, okay, losing weight, being a healthy weight, great. But like, I feel like sometimes that's the only thing we're given or told that will make us valuable or healthy.
right, right. Yeah. And I want to take it into how about we all strive for emotional intelligence rather than weight loss, right? Like weight's one thing, but if we can really start working on focusing on understanding your emotional resiliency and like really tuning into embodiment of emotional intelligence, that's where you're really going to find that power. And with it will come, you know, feeling better and maybe losing the weight. And, you know, those are the trickle down effects basically of becoming more embodied and more empowered within yourself. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. Um, Another, I guess, one that probably comes up for um, a myth within what I do, like with hypnotherapy, you know, that like, oh, you're going to hypnotize me and all, I'm going to be barking like a cat, you know, a dog or like doing these weird things. And so the thing is with hypnotherapy is I don't have control over you. It's all about your subconscious and the work that we're doing within the subconscious mind. So I'm just doing what your subconscious mind wants, as far as guiding you. So
Okay, pause just a second.
yeah,
What do you, what does hypnotherapy help? What, in what ways do you use hypnotherapy? I mean, I've,
yeah, yeah.
like you say, it's not like barking like a dog. So what does it help with?
That's a hypnotist. So a hypnotist will
Right.
put you on stage and they'll do the little clock thing and make you do weird this stuff. So they're still working with the subconscious mind in a way to kind of trick you. Where I'm working with hypnotherapy, we're kind of diving a little bit deeper and we're doing work on the subconscious brain where we're doing work around we might do something with weight loss, but it's more of um, the goals that you truly want and how you truly want to feel is what we create in the hypnotherapy session. So generally, if I'm working with somebody, we'll do a whole session where we're just kind of getting all the information of like what your goals are. So if it's confidence, if you're like, I'm just haven't felt confident in my life and I stems from this, I'll go through and do timeline therapy with a client too, where we're clearing things off of your timeline within the subconscious. Then we'll do a hypnotherapy session. And the hypnotherapy session, I will record a hypnosis for you to listen to for 30 days. And so then during this hypnosis is where we're just basically rewiring the subconscious mind and the neurons into what you truly want. So if I want to feel more confident, it's going to be statements around that. You know, I'm feeling more confident. I'm able to go do XYZ. So there's specifics of what you want to do. So we really get in there and really are able to start doing that change. So hypnosis is a
And
really great tool.
yeah, can hypnotherapy help with anxiety,
Yeah.
postpartum?
Yes.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Yep, it can help with anything. I mean, we've used it for thousands of years, and it can be used for phobias, for fears, for quit smoking, you know, addictions, etc. So it can be used for really anything.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, Valerie, I at the end of every Live with Liz interview, like we are here today, I always ask every person who's here with me the same question, and that is, what does it mean to you to be an empowered woman today? So I just love to hear from you a little bit about like, what does that mean to you? We throw around that term feeling empowered, and obviously you and I, both of our businesses, we share a mission to try to help women tap into this inner power. So like,
Yeah.
What does that mean to you specifically today?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it, I suppose, a little bit earlier when we talked, but really, for me, having that empowerment is having that emotional intelligence and understanding the body. So becoming more embodied in self, and really just kind of understanding your soul and connecting deeply with your soul is where you become more empowered. Um, and I love being able to help women find that connection to their soul, to their true self, that just kind of got lost over the years. And so finding that emotional intelligence, that embodiment of self, I believe is that real beautiful empowerment that all women seek and need.
What for people who are listening who hear the term emotional intelligence and don't know
Yeah.
what that means, can
Yeah.
you explain a little bit? I mean, I've heard different definitions. How do you think what is emotional intelligence to you?
To me, emotional intelligence is understanding your emotions, just understanding them, becoming friends with your emotions. So often we generally allow the emotions to take over the body. So we run with, and so that's where you'll see like the anger outbursts. Look, I've been there many years with my own little kids, and you just get angry and the outbursts come out. But what if we understood a little bit more deeply what's the anger trying to tell us? So it's being really more empowered and understanding, hey, the anger is coming from a space of fear. The fear is my anxiety. So what do I need to do? I need to start working on my anxiety, right? So like what's happening within our nervous system, what's happening within our whole body, and that's where the emotional intelligence comes through. So just really understanding what your emotions are trying to tell you.
And can people who don't have a high emotional intelligence learn this skill?
Yes, absolutely. I did. I did. Yeah, 100%. And that's what I teach my people when I work with them is just understanding and becoming more embodied with their emotions, understanding the emotions, why they're there. We have conversations with the emotions. What's going on? So yes, you can absolutely. And I love being able to then it becomes this um, generational snowball effect. Right now, I'm working with a client who's asking me advice for her 3-year-old and 5-year-old, and so we're working through, mindfulness and having emotional intelligence for these boys, and so she's learning a lot about her emotions, and then she's able to teach it to her boys too. So I love being able to do that.
So powerful when a woman decides to make some changes, she can make a turn that will affect her children and her children's children in ways that
Yes.
hard to see now, but like you can make a big difference down the line.
Yes, yes, it gives me chills just thinking about like that generational switch we're making. It's just amazing.
Well, Valerie, thank you so much for coming today and sharing all of these insights with us. If people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, the best way they can contact me through my website. So my website is mindfulwellness.me. And they can find all the information about my services and what I offer, and then they can contact me through there. So
Great. And we'll drop that information in the comments as well, so you can click on it. Thank you so much for joining us, Valerie. Thank you, everyone who's been watching live, and those of you who are watching on the replay as well. I hope that this has been helpful for you and given you some things to think about with emotional intelligence and feeling empowered. So, thank you so much for joining us, Valerie, and I hope everyone has a good
thank
day on
you.
this freezing cold winter day.
Yes. Thanks, everybody.